Hello everyone, this is Dylan from the Turtle Club, and I'm here bringing you my red Pilaf deck profile. And this is a deck I've been playing since it came out. I think it is very fun, and I've been trying to make it as competitive as possible ever since it came out, and I think I've pretty much cracked it. So let's get started with the deck profile. On the front side is just a basic swing, attack, draw one. Doesn't really do much. But it's really easy awaken. All you have to do is have 3 battle cards on board, or be at 4 or less life, and you can flip over, untap 2, which is very nice because this is an aggro deck, so you need all the energy you can. Then the auto is just when it attacks, draw 1 as usual, and then the activate main is where it gets pretty crazy. So you actually place 3 of any battle card in your battle area into the drop area and give your Unison, a red Unison card, triple attack. So combined with some Unisons, like the ones I'll be showing you, it can get pretty crazy. So let's get into the actual deck. Alright, so we're starting off with 3 of Pilaf, Plotting World Domination. He's just simple, look at top 5, add an Earthling. I can also search a 4-cost Unison, which is good for like the Gohanks Unison Secret Rare. That's a good target to get. But honestly, I don't play it in this deck. If I had it, I probably would. I just don't have the Secret Rare, that's why I don't play it, but I would definitely play it in this deck. It is very good and it's searchable with this, so it's pretty nice. So it's just like basically your entire deck. Then the other 1-drops we play is 3 of Baba, Earthseer. When she's played, you give a Earthling in your leader area or battle area 5k power, which is pretty good. And when you combo her off from the battle area, she draws a card and then minus something by 5. So that is very helpful because there is a way to free play her with this next card that I'm going to show you. And it is 4 of this Bulma super combo, Out to Venturing. When there's 8 life between both of you, so both of you have to have 8 life between both of you, which is can be really pretty possible because you're an aggro deck, so you're aggroing your opponent down to less life. So say that you're at like 5 life and they're at 3 life. This super combo works. Even if you're at 5, it's 8 between both of you, it still works. So when you super combo with it, you draw a card, and if it's your turn, you actually free play a 1-drop Earthling from your hand. So you can free play something like Baba. You free play with Baba, after you super combo with this. You give it 10k, this gives another 5k, whatever you're attacking with, obviously if it's like an Earthling. And then you combo Baba off as a draw, and another minus 5, which is pretty nice. And so you can also free play Pilaf too, so you can get a search, maybe for another Bulma, because he can get Bulma off the top 5, so that is pretty nice. So she is very good for this deck, very good for free plays going in. It's a very aggro heavy deck. And now for the main events, we have the Pilaf gang themselves. We have 2 of this Pilaf mech, 4 of this Pilaf or Shu mech, and then 4 of this Mai mech. So they all have the same effect, where if you have 3 or more right energy, when you play them for 2, they play out each other from deck. So they play out a 2-cost Shu and 2-cost Mai, or 2-cost Pilaf, whichever ones aren't on board. They all have unique, so you can't just, spam a lot of them on board at the same time. But yeah, they play. So it gets you 3 15Ks out for 2 energy, or free in some ways in this deck also. So that's pretty nice. There's a lot of aggro, 15k spam, which is pretty nice. And then we also play, let's get this out of the way. We also play 2 of this Pilaf. What's it called? Innovative Emperor. So you can play him off of the Meyer Shu, because they play any 2-cost Pilaf from deck. So you can play this one. You never want this in hand. This doesn't do anything in hand. So you play it from deck. And then when it's placed in the drop area by a skill, any skill, so the leader effect actually places battle cards in the drop area. So this will go off when that's by the leader skill. You minus 2 things by 10k. So that combined with Baba can also minus a lot of things. There's also Yamcha kind of plays other stuff, and we have this deck that can also minus stuff. So you can have a lot of removal in this deck actually, which is pretty nice. So yeah, and then you play them for free from the deck, which is pretty nice. And the way you play these guys for free is this nice Unison. We have 4 of this ultimate Shenron Unison. So he's a 2-drop 20k. He has a permanent where he can't attack, which is fine. It's a +1 where you draw a card, then bottom deck a card, and then you play a 2-cost Earthling from your hand. Now, drawing cards is nice. You know, try to see your pieces because you need to see your pieces by turn 3 so you can go the heavy aggro. Also, you bottom deck a card, which is nice because you know, your guys only play. They only play from the deck, not the hand, so you need them in your deck. So you have ways that if you have too many of like your Mai's in hand, too many of your shoes in hand, or too many Pilafs in hand, you can bottom deck one of the pieces and then play it from the deck right after you play it off of this. Now keep in mind, I usually play this Unison on turn 2, but turn 3 is only when you can play the 15k spam guys. You can only play those turn 3. So this Unison has to survive on the next turn, which it most likely will because it's a 20-cost Unison, it's a 20k Unison. So it's going to be hard to remove turn 2. That's pretty nice. So next turn, turn 3, you just +1, draw, bottom deck, free play, get 3 guys out, which is pretty nice. So if you're playing that Unison turn 2 and you can't play those guys, then what are you wanting to play then? So here's the answer. I've played 3 of Yamcha the Lawless. So when he doesn't do anything when he's played, but at the end of every turn, if my leader card's in red Earthling, you draw a card. So it's just extra draws. He can also end the game out of nowhere because he has also an Activate Battle for 2. He gets 15k power and Double Strike, Activate Battle. So he can try and end the game himself. You most likely never use that. You just use him for the draw and free play off of Unison if you have no other targets to free play off of, but he's pretty nice. Then for our for our next card, here's the big boy himself, the Jiren Unison. Now this is your main win con basically in this deck because he plays for 3, so you usually want to save him for your Awaken turn. So you can obviously pay 3 for him, tap out, and then Awaken on tap 2. And yeah, so a +1, he gets Double Strike for the turn. So your leader gives the instant triple attack, and then you can give him Double Strike. So he is a triple attack Double Striker on turn 3. This is pretty insane with all your other 15k spams as well. It's pretty nice. He has an auto. When your opponent plays a battle card on either player's turn, you can choose to negate by 10. And if you do, just negate it for the turn. So it's once per turn, minus anything you want by 10, minus our blocker negates, minus all kinds of stuff, which is pretty nice. This Jiren is really hard to get rid of. He's a 20k. He also has a -3, which comes in handy because if they don't remember it, you can just -3 active battle, minus something by 25k, ignoring barrier, which is pretty nice. And I forgot to mention, the Bulma super combo can play any 1-cost Earthling from hand, if you remember. She can actually play herself from hand. She is a 1-cost Earthling. So if you super combo off of Jiren, play Bulma, then Bulma has an activate main where you can choose a Unison card and give it 5k power for the turn. So you can make Jiren a 25k triple attack Double Striker if you can get that out, which is pretty hard to deal with, I will tell you that. So that's pretty nice. So Jiren definitely is probably your main way to win the game in this deck. Then for our counter plays, we play 3 of the Yanchikan play. He works with both the Unisons, so it's pretty nice. Just neg 2 things by 15k, as long as they don't deflect or barrier. So it helps a lot to defend. Pretty self-explanatory. Also, combos really well with the Jiren Unison, minus something by 10, and minus something by 15. So you can kill pretty big things in this deck. And what helps even more is 2 of the Videl Unison. Your Jiren Unison can be pretty hard to kill, so the Spirit Bridge doesn't really matter that much. But minusing 2 things by 20k plus Jiren's -10, it's pretty insane. You can pretty much kill anything in the game with all this stuff. You know, Red's really good at negging stuff and removal, so pretty nice there. And then we have probably one of the best cards of the deck is Bulma the Bunny Girl. Have the nice card fest. She has an auto where in hand, on the board, if any Earthling leaves a battle area by a skill, her effect goes off in hand, or she plays herself, and she's a blocker, and she plays any 4-cost or less Earthling only from your drop area. And most of the deck is Earthling only, so you can play pretty much anything in your deck from the drop area. If anything is removed by the skill, she's just free, a free blocker that plays anything from the drop area. So that combos well with a lot of cards like this Videl, because this Videl just says if she's played. So this can play the Videl from drop area, and then her Spear Boost can go off, and she can minus two things by 20k from the drop area for free. So that is pretty insane. She can play, yeah, if you don't give any kind of earthling in the drop area, and it doesn't not let skills negated, so you can get the 1-drop searcher and get a top 5 search for free. And she's a blocker, so that's pretty nice for defense. Yeah, she's insane. It's just the one thing you gotta watch out for is it says a non-Bulma card. So if this Bulma's removed, you can't play another Bulma. You have to wait until this Bulma, and she also has unique, so you can't have 2 Bulmas on the board and do it again. You have to wait until she's removed, so you want to block her just immediately. Then when something else is removed, you can play her again. So she's really good. There's so much removal in the game now that that's going to always go off. So she's definitely one of the best cards in the deck. Then for more defense, we have 3 testing the opposition. We are an aggro deck, so we are pretty much going all in all the time. So we need some kind of defense to, you know, not get killed in the crackback. They're going to have like not that many cards in hand because they're trying to defend from so many swings. But this blocker negate's really nice. If you're stuck at 5 and you need to get to 8 life between both of you, it's nice to have a blocker on board and also negate the attack. So definitely one of the best defensive cards from the deck. It's free. It's really cool. Then we have 2 double strike Champas. This speaks for itself. They won't expect it. If you're not swinging with Jiren, you just go in for the kill. Pretty self-explanatory there. Then for our one-ofs, we have, obviously, for playing red Unisons, obviously you're going to play the King Piccolo New Ruler. Just free 20k double striker, and they can't block against it, so obvious inclusion there. Overrealm, dual tech Bardock. This can either be the dual tech Bardock or the Masked Saiyan, whichever one you prefer. I probably prefer this one because there's already so much removal in the deck with the minusing that I think dual tech Bardock is just better. So just go in even more. We play this King Piccolo, 5 seconds to eradication. If your opponent's just countering us so much, they're stalling really bad, you can just use this as a Fleck Double Strike Barrier. You have to pay 4 for it. They can't block against this one either. And then when it attacks, if it negates, then you get to take a life and you burn them a damage. So it punishes them for negating so much, because in case you play against stuff like, I guess, Blue Baby or something, just negates over and over again. You get to start burning them for negating, so it's pretty nice. And it's Double Strike Barrier to Flex, so there's not really a way to stop this. And also when it attacks, it gives a Unison a marker. So getting your Jiren up and markers is pretty nice to keep it safe. This card is just like a last-ditch effort to get those counter-heavy decks. We play 1 of the Realm of the Gods Ultra Instinct, one of the newer cards for the deck. It's just a nice 30k removal and also 10k boost, just for anything that's giving you problems. I only have 1 SPR, that's why I'm only playing 1 anyway, but I think 1 is fine. You probably don't even need to play this if you don't want to. This is nice for removing big things early. And then the secret rare, I would probably play Gohanks if I had it, but I don't, so I just play Pan. You're gonna have your board flooded so much that it's gonna be pretty easy to play her. It just helps you get another turn, so you can just keep on swinging. Then obviously the pay 1 and steal anything. So yeah, that is the deck, and I try to make it as competitive as possible. It's done pretty well in like my locals. I've taken it to a regional once. It did okay. I misplayed a bit, but I think all this newer stuff that's come out, it's made the deck a lot better. Power over Super Saiyan used to be a real problem for this deck because it's arrest your Unison, and you pretty much can't do anything with the triple attack. But now that the Power of Super Saiyan is to 1, it's a lot easier for this deck to go off. This deck can go from 0 to 100 really quick. The turn 3 aggro is insane. So stuff like Violent Rays is obviously a problem for this deck. They can call Unisons, and then Jiren can't swing 3 times. That sucks. But and then something like Sensu Being can stop your 15k spam. So this deck is not like incredible, like amazing or anything, but it definitely can compete with a lot of the decks that are here nowadays. And I think it is very underrated and pretty good. So it's one of the very few aggro decks that can still go crazy and insane. So that's my red Pilaf deck profile. I hope you guys enjoyed. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. and I will see you guys in the next video. See ya.